Hey guys, Duchess Braids here and welcome back to my channel. So today we have a special guest, which is my baby girl, Mila. Look how cute she is. She is turning a teenager this weekend, guys. Can y'all believe that? This has been a long journey and you guys have watched her literally grow. And now she's a teenager. But before we can get into the style and what she chose for her birthday party, let's talk about today's sponsor, which is Acuity Scheduling. Now, last time I showed you guys a lot of the features that it has. Now, this time I want to actually walk you through adding an appointment type to the website. Now, if you're a stylist and you're new to Acuity Scheduling, this is how you would add this type of style to your account. First, you want to go to appointment types, then go to add new type of service. And for the name, you do want to describe the type of style that you're doing. For me, this is going to be the medium half boho / half braids. For description, you do want to go into more details so that your clients know exactly what you're offering. As far as the time frame that it takes to do this style, you do want to break it down in minutes. And typically it takes me about 6 hours to do a style like this, so it's going to take about 360 minutes. It does give you the option of blocking off time before or after your appointment, and I like to take about 60 minutes to decompress after a long appointment like that. As far as pricing, I'm going to put $380, which we all know is laughable in this day and age. Then you want to go in and categorize the type of style that you're doing, which helps you for later on, but also helps your clients. Another great option is the ability to add an image to your site as well as forms, which gives you the ability to ask your clients questions so you can be well informed before they show up to their appointments. Then you want to hit create to solidify this new appointment type. Then you can scroll down to find the category that you place this appointment in. Each appointment has its own unique code that you can pull from the site and add it to any format so your clients could get to it. Now, this is from the client's point of view. Once they've pulled that unique code and it takes them directly to the site, they're able to see what days you have available as well as the time, and they can choose the time they want to place for the appointment. Go ahead and fill out that form and book their appointment. You can check out the link in my description box for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code DuchessBraids20. Save 20% off your first Acuity Scheduling subscription. So the first tool I'm going to grab to get started is the Duchess Braids Precision Comb. This is something you can grab from my website, and I'm going to go in with my infamous middle part. Now, once the middle part is complete, I'm going to go in and part her hair from ear to ear, and this is going to separate the front from the back because I'm doing boho braids in the back and cornrows in the front. And so once I have that separated, I like to braid it out the way. It gives me a better hold on the hair. Once I'm done doing that, I'm going to go in at the back of her hair and pre-separate all the hair. So one of the tools I'm using today is my braid band. And I discussed to you guys last time how much I hate dipping my hands in the gel, which is the Pure Neat Braids gel. So I use the braid band and I put the gel on top of it, and this is going to eliminate me digging my fingers into the jam and instead just kind of wiping it off the wristband. All right, so then I go in with the gel and I clean the hair up. You guys already know how this goes. We're going to pre-part first, and then we're going to spread the gel across the part and then go in and really clean it up with that precision comb. This comb is so pointy that it really just gets all the little fine hairs, and her hair is so fine. But once I'm done with these parts, I go ahead and plait them out the way because I just want to go ahead and have all the parts out the way first so that once I start actually braiding the boho braids, I could just kind of run through it smoothly without having to stop to part. And so this is an easy method to just kind of help with your timing when it comes to your braiding. All right, so now that I've pre-parted the whole head, this is how it looks. And yours could be bigger, could be smaller, but I'm doing like medium-sized braids. So I'm going to start in the back. The hair that I'm using today is the Rua 3X 18 inches, and we're using color 30. And the hair that we're using is some water wave crochet hair that I got off Amazon. I'll have that link in the description for you guys. But I did go ahead and color that hair. I did watercolor the hair to get to that color, because as you guys can see, my daughter's hair color is just not a color you can walk in the store and find. And so I'm always having issues finding anything similar. And so I've been trying out different colors like 27, and now that I've landed on 30, it's not the closest color to her hair, but I do find that this color does look the best on her hair once we've completed this style. So I'm going to be rocking with the color 30 from now on instead of the color 27 when it comes to braiding her hair. All right, so we're going in with the crochet hair, and this is something what I spoke about in my last video. So this is a meant for crochet, but I told you guys that this is perfect for boho braids because it's going to cut down on so much time. You guys saw how I was able to share the hair out onto the rack so easily. That is something you can't do with regular bulk hair. As well as once I've inserted the hair into these braids, I've already inserted 2 pieces. So my grabbing time to get the hair, I've eliminated that. So I've already put a piece in, and then all I have to do is braid down and I'm on to my next piece, you guys. So I do feel like this method is so much easier, so much faster. And it's just really changed the game using this method. So I really wanted to try it, even though I don't like doing boho braids. But this is the hair, you guys. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a water wave. I love the curl pattern. And the fact that it was able to color and lift to this color, that's also great without being tarnished or without getting like too dry or too rough. It still has its nice curls. And so I'm using only 2 because I did only get 2 bundles. And so it's not a ton of hair, but it is enough to do the back. And I was left with some pieces, but I'm only using 2 pieces in each braid. And you guys know 2 pieces come with 4 basically strands of hair, or 4 portions of hair on 2 pieces of string, right? So as I'm going through, I like to make sure I add the hair in at different levels so that the hair is filled out properly. So in some rows, I'll add the hair in immediately, the curly pieces in immediately. But for other rows, like the row on top of this, I'll probably braid down first and then add the curly pieces. This is going to put more density throughout the entire back of her hair instead of having the top dense and the bottom dense and then the middle kind of sparse. This allows me to make the entire thing really, really full. All right, so this is how I add it in. I braid it down and I just pull out the second piece, you guys. And this has been so easy. And then since I'm only adding in 2 pieces in each braid, I braid down pretty far, which is not typical. If you have enough hair, you don't have to braid down this far. Normally by now I would have already added in some more hair, but this is where I'm at with adding in the hair. And then that last piece, I'm just going to braid it all the way down and I'm going to tie it off, and that's going to be the end of my braid. So instead of pulling it out, I'm just going to braid it down as far as I can get it. I'm going to use that piece to tie it off, and then this is going to be the end of my hair. Then I'm going to come back and then I'm going to cut those little strand pieces off. So this is what I wanted to show you guys. So for the top row, I braided down first and then started adding in the pieces. But for the row underneath this row, I did add in immediately. And so this is going to distribute the hair evenly so that the entire back part is completely full and is not disproportionate. All right, so this is how I'm able to braid it and have it look good. So far, I am really, really loving how this hair color is looking on her. We normally avoid 30 for some reason, but now that I've used it, I like it so much better than any other color I've used. Because like I said before, we can't really find her hair color, and the hair color that they do have, they barely make it. Like I think there was a brand back in the day that I used to use that would make it, but it's so hard to find. And I know anybody else that's struggling with sandy blonde hair probably has this issue where they just cannot find their hair color. And I've tried to even purchase it in bulk or try to even get a distributor so that I can sell it myself, and it's just extremely hard to find. However, like, we got to work with what we got to work with. But this is how I'm braiding the hair down, you guys. And we're going to jump to the front in a little bit because we're going to do like a little design, small design braids in the front. And this is how she wanted it for her birthday. And I'm so happy because y'all know, like, she's not on my camera often anymore because she's just been stuck on like her little plaits or her little 6 straight backs. And so for her to want a boho style, which she absolutely do love the boho styles, but for her to want it, like, I was gonna jump on that real quick. I don't mind, like, y'all, I don't like the long styles, but I'll do it for her because like, I'm tired of the braids and the plaits. And so I would jump on doing this style any day. And the good thing about this hair too is that I can save it. Like, I don't have to cut it out. I can literally, I know it's going to take some time to undo it and not cut it from, where her hair length is and take it out. But I'm going to try to save the curly pieces of the hair because I've already put so much work into coloring it and doing all that jazz. So I do want to save it and possibly just wash it and try to retry doing another boho style with it. And so if I do that, I'm gonna definitely film for you guys and show you guys that I was able to reuse it and what it looks like after being used, because I'm pretty sure she's gonna have this styling for at least a month. And so right now I'm just braiding the hair out, and I'm gonna also put the boho braids in this braid as well, in every braid from now on. But there's no specific style. I did have some inspiration styles, but once I got to a certain part of it, I just kind of started freestyling, I guess. She didn't want it too crazy. She just kind of wanted a simple style in the front, and so that's what I did. So yeah, I did use the curly piece to tie around because it's so much uh thinner to take a few strands of that piece and tie it around to tie the knot at the end to keep it in place than it would be to use the braiding hair to do so. So I do find it easier to use that hair instead of using the braiding hair. And as I'm going, you guys, I'm using the braid band with a gel on it and adding in the gel as I go because this is going to make her hair much smoother. But yeah, you guys, she is turning 13, and I just can't believe it. Like once you've been a mom, I had her, I was 22 years old, and so she's now a big girl, and it's just kind of like mind blowing to go through all these phases with your baby, and thinking of her like, oh my god, this is my baby. And once they hit puberty and once they start going through their little middle school stuff, like, and you see all the different transitions that they go through, it can be like difficult obviously to work with the hormones and all this stuff that they're going through, but also trying to navigate them as a young adult to make sure that they make the right decisions and do the right thing as a young adult. And so like seeing her transition from like the baby to like the little girl into now like a teenager. Yeah, it's been a blessing, but also like I would be lying if I didn't say it hasn't been difficult. Just not only with, how they just, it's like one day you wake up and they're a complete different person, but also just trying to protect them from the world every single day, trying to protect their innocence, trying to protect them from just things happening to them or things that you've been through as a child that you don't want to happen to them or don't want them to go through, or choices that you made that you don't want them to make. It's just a long road. And now I have one that is 5 years old. So we basically started over ish. So we're going through two different phases at the same time with our kids. And yeah, it's a journey. And if you're a mom, you know how that feels and what I might be going through. Like she's a wonderful child. She makes great grades. She's active in sports and stuff. So I really don't have much to complain about. It's more of just the mental game of raising someone that is now more opinionated, more picky, is very needy, but don't bring no money in. Just all the works. But yeah, this is how the style is. And at the end, I told you guys I went in and cut off those little pieces of braiding hair that I tied off. And so this is what I did. I just sat there and one by one picked them out and cut it off. And so there were some black pieces of thread, and then I went ahead and moussed it with a Nairobi mousse. And the hair looks good without wetting it, but I did go ahead and dip it. She really wanted me to dip it, but I could tell, you know, it can be a little stiff if you don't dip it, but it looks so beautiful without it being dipped. But I knew like it is going to be a little stiff. And so I did go ahead and dip it in the water. This is human hair. The curly pieces are human hair, so they're not going to be damaged. Nothing's going to happen to them. So it's no issues dipping them completely in the water. And like I said, it is like a wet and wavy hair. So the wetter, the wavier, I guess. But once I did that, I went in with my pattern brush. Y'all know I love this brush. And I just combed it out. And instead of putting mousse in it, because I really always battle with if I should put mousse on curly hair, only because it just seems to be so much stiffer once I put mousse on it. So I'm going to go in with the Lovely Bees Whipped Curl. So this is like a lightweight kind of moisturizing curl cream. And so I don't want it to be too heavy on the hair, but also I didn't want to put the mousse because the mousse sometimes make it a little sticky and I just can't deal with that. So let's try something lighter, something more moisturizing, and see how it looks. So after I'm done doing this, I went in and cut off the little scrawny ends, whatever that was bothering me that I felt like was gonna just be unnecessary strands. And this is day 3, y'all. We had our party the next day, and now this is day 3. I didn't brush it out, comb it out, nothing, but this is how the hair is looking. It looks absolutely beautiful. I love how the curls look, and all she has to do to maintain this is just wet it and comb it through every day, put some of that curl in it. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.